Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Tonight I want to talk to you about bots. I want to talk to you about how we can beat bots. And I love this story. It came to me from a viewer who dropped me a DM in Discord, and he was like, Dwayne 12, look, there are people not just running bots in the game to put their decks to use, which is fine. That's like, you bought those cards. I don't care who plays them. If it's a bot, whatever. The bots usually suck anyways. But look, what sucks is when bots can take advantage of the marketplace and they can trade 24 hours a day, and they can push cards down by a penny. You drop a card for a good price and they come in and they, using script, they can undercut you by a penny, and then you reposition and they can undercut you by a penny, and so on and so forth. It's like, how do we win this? How do we fight back? How do we claim, how do we liquidate for a reasonable price without being, pushed around, undercut, and bullied by these bots? And that's what I want to talk about today, because this viewer had this great idea. He came up with this technique that he put to use, and it's a funny story. I think you guys are gonna like it, especially if you feel like tons of people do, which is that bots are a problem. I personally don't feel that, but this is a funny story nonetheless. So let's get into it. Before I do that, my name's Dwayne, and I go by Infidel1258, but usually just 12. Keep it simple, guys. And like I said, we're gonna talk about bots. And so I'm going to pop over to Discord. I got a comment from a guy named Psilence, and he told me I could share this. So he goes, "Hey 12, I watch your videos on YouTube all the time, and thanks for sharing so much content. I was just able to beat a bot in the marketplace, and if that was interesting for you, I thought they'd be interesting for you. Found one that was running a sell script to relist for a penny lower than the lowest list price. And I forced it to go down by 10% lower than the list, then had somebody buy it." And so he's like, are you following? It's like he saw that there was a script at work pushing, you list for $1, it's going 99 cents. You list for 98 cents, it's going 97. And he recognized this, and he decided to take advantage of it by causing it, by walking it down. And some of them are, he gets into more detail later on, but it's important to understand what they're doing, because you might want to know how to exploit this too. And why would I want to tell you this? Let's cut to the bottom line. Why are we talking about this? Because bots are absolutely stealing sales from you and me, and it makes it really difficult to meaningfully utilize the marketplace without a bot. If this is happening, you can list your price for a reasonable 10% lower than the lowest, and you think, oh, that's great, I'm liquidating it. Bot comes in, recognizing as soon as you're gone, it goes 1 penny cheaper. And so often, especially at the highest level cards, like if you're selling a 10-cent card, that doesn't matter. But if you're selling a $2,000 card, which some of people like me are, and there are people out there that are selling $500 cards, $200 cards. If a bot is undercutting you by a penny on those types of margins, you aren't going to see it, first of all, and then second of all, you're not going to get the sale, because the buyer's not going to come in and buy 2. He's going to come in and he's going to buy 1, and the one he buys is not yours because of this. And so knowing what's happening, that's why we're talking about it, because knowing what happens here can really change your opportunity to actually liquidate when you want to liquidate. So there are bots out there that will relist 1 penny lower, and that's the first point. And he says we use the algorithm it used to undercut the lowest sell price to make it give an incredible deal. So like pushing it down by convincing it to move down one more step and one more step, they were able to make it reach a target price that they were happy with. And it said it would check for the lowest listing price every 6 or 7 minutes. And he said, so I'd lower my price to within 10% of the lowest, because I didn't want one of the bots that was always looking for prices 10% plus lower than lower listing, because there are other bots that are scavenging for cards that are 10% or more lower than the lowest list. You see, like, there's bots buying up the cheap ones. There's bots manipulating which are the cheap ones. And if you don't understand this game, like what's going on here, then you're going to have a lack of tools and you're going to be taken advantage of, in the sense that you're not going to be able to fully utilize the marketplace. So that's why this is so important. And Psilence was like, this is stupid. It's ruining the marketplace. And he went on to say, you can also trigger peak monsters to buy orders this way. So he pushed the bot down. He said, we did that with the Sacred Unicorn. If you don't know what the Sacred Unicorn is, maybe I should show you that quick. The white one, right? Sacred Unicorn, legendary Sacred Unicorn. So it sells for, the bid is $41 and the low buy is $62, but there's bots involved. So if you can convince the bot to move down from 63 down to 41, you can fill bids. Let's go back to this. So you can trigger peak monster buy orders that way. And the lowest bid on this peak monsters was 75. So I listed one at 75.01. You hear that? He listed just a penny above the buy order. And in so doing, triggered the bot to go 1 penny cheaper and then immediately liquidate. I love it. Because, you know, bots have a million advantages, but one thing that they don't have over us is like the strategy and the thoughtfulness that it feels like I'm giving a speech to like the humans in the Matrix before they went to war with the robots. You know what I mean? It's like, or like a moment in Terminator 2 where we're about to engage. John Connor's leading the troops against the T2s and the T1000s. But in a sense, we are, man. There's a war here. There's a technology war. The bots are attempting to exploit the market as best they can, as best as they can be programmed to do so. And then there's you with your mind and your thoughtfulness and Psilence out there, who's like seeing through that and trying to, you know, essentially make the bot owner take an L because he's pushing the market around for his own advantage. And he later says in here somewhere, as a result of being able to beat the bots, he says that where is it? I can't, I'm trying to find, I'm bouncing around here, but I'll read this part too. It says, so I said, man, that sounds cool. Interesting to know more. And I asked, it could be a good video, but are you sure you'd want people to know this secret? Because the bots might evolve and ruin your deals. And he said, and this is why I'm doing the video. This answer to me was very pivotal for why I'm doing this video. He said, I want as many people to know how to beat the bots as possible, to disincentivize using them in the marketplace as much as possible. It's really frustrating right now. I can't sell anything because everything I list is undercut by a penny. It literally is impossible for a human to have the lowest price right now, because as soon as you adjust, the bot does too. I understand bots playing the game, but bots being the only way to sell on the market is a little different. And no player can use the market right now because of them, unless you go 10% lower, have a different kind of bot buy your card, which is really stupid. And he's right. And today, if you guys were checking out on that, let's flip over to the, so first of all, thank you, Psilence. And he said that's his in-game name too. So I'm going to throw him some love because this is a really cool story. This is a really cool thing. I'm glad to know more about this, and I hope that you guys are too. I think this sort of knowledge is going to equip us to do better in the marketplace, especially around the fact that, like, you know, the bots, if they're undercutting you, you can push them to a place where they then liquidate, right? Once they liquidate, they're out of your way. Also, the one that he points out, there are bots that are trying to buy up market that are anything below 10% difference. So if you needed something sold, maybe you could just, you know, price it that way and try and see if there's a bot looking for that card. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but that's good information to know. So let's send a little something to Psilence. And then I also want to pop over and I want to comment on some of the town hall today, because in the town hall, I took one major note on today's town hall. I think it must have been Psilence that left this comment, because there was a comment about bots in the marketplace. And he talked about how they're analyzing the market rapidly within a block. And he said it would be far more equal. It would be for humans and bots if, because that's Splinterlands' whole thing. They don't care if there's bots in the game, but they try really hard to make it that bots have no distinct advantage. That's what Splinterlands aims at. And they clearly have a distinct advantage in the marketplace. So what if you made it so that if a price is listed in this block, you can't buy it. The bot can't can't search the market within that block for information. They have to look at the next block. That would impact their ability to rapidly analyze the ongoing price evaluation, making their technology less productive, less accurate. And that would just make, even the playing field in a way. And so it was a smart question. And Aggroed answered it. I think Yaba answered it too, saying very clearly that, and then all three of them, it was Aggroed, Yaba, and Hardpoint all commented saying, this is really important. We need to put that as a high priority. They said, that they will, it was on, I think Hardpoint said it's on their short list of things to do. I think that's how he framed it. So clearly this is important to them. Clearly they understand the issue. It's not just Psilence, it's multiple people that are experiencing this, including the devs who understand the problem. And on that note, associated with bots, this will be our last topic, and then we're going to throw something over to Psilence for a thank you. This is slightly different, but bots in the game, fighting in the game, they have been, obviously, a lot of people find them super annoying. They play more than us. They can win more than us. They, in the bronze leagues especially, they don't have to put any money into the game and they can still extract a lot of value. Well, there was a comment and a question around ghost cards. This is from the town hall today. These are the two main points that I took away from the town hall today. And they're both bot related. And they were talking about how the question was, there shouldn't be, you guys say there shouldn't be any distinct advantage for having a bot run your cards. Well, there is, because, they can play the cards as much as they want. What if the ghost cards, especially at bronze level, remember, ghost cards are those cards that you don't really own, but that you're able to look at and use. Let's see if I have any. Yeah, right there. Giant Scorpion. It's a starter card. It's kind of, you can see how it's slightly translucent. I don't own it, and I can play with it, but it's a level 1. The question was, what if those cards at the end of the day could only be used 15 or 25 times or something like that, some number of times. I think the comment was, what if they could only be used a human number of times per day? Which is an amazing way of putting it. You and I can't play this game all day long, but what if the starter cards were capable of being used 25 times a day or 40 times a day, which is a lot of games. And after that, they couldn't be used. Then the bots that would be a way of impairing bot armies from just extracting value from this thing for free. And I did a video recently talking about how bots at the bronze level, if you bought enough of them, can still be very lucrative. And so I do believe that bots are a continuing thing that we're going to be dealing with. And I don't know if you want to say problem, but definitely they're present and they're extracting value from this without contributing more into it. They're not buying cards, they're just earning free ones and liquidating for the most part. So that to me seems like a problem. How do you answer that without doing a bunch of KYC, which these developers refuse to do? I don't know, but this sounds like a smart idea. If these starter cards just were not burnt forever, but like it needed a cooldown period after being used 25 times, which is a busy day. 25 games in one day is a lot. That's gonna drive your capture rate down 25%. Even if you said 50 times, it can be used 50 times a day. That would be like your capture rate right down almost to probably 60%, 55%. that'd be an interesting way to maybe do thoughtfully exclude bots from really just taking advantage. I loved it. I thought it was a great question. And the answer was very clear from Hardpoint that they're absolutely looking at this. And he said that, how did he phrase it? He said, stay tuned. And that's kind of all he really said. He said, we're looking at it, stay tuned. But that's good for me because it just shows me where their heart is at and their vision for, you know, exploring correction on that. It seemed obvious to me from the tone and the way he spoke. It was like, yes, I agree. We need to look at that, was what I heard. And so that's a lot of things about bots today on the marketplace and in the game, and how we can beat them. And I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you're new to the channel, like I said, my name is Dwayne. I go by 12, and we cover Splinterlands all day, every day. Make sure if you like the content, especially if you stuck around to the end, consider liking and subscribing. Thanks for your time and attention, and have an amazing night. God bless.